seat. I want to say hello. My name is Caspian Voss. I'm a local performing poet and musician and photographer in the area. And I'm going to be hopping in between each set, maybe with some musical accompaniment. But I wanted to start our evening off with a poem. So I was so pleased and happy to look around to see so many faces of people that I recognize and know me and have said hello. And I thought it was very fitting to start this evening with a poem about friendship. I have a great deal of wonderful friends in my life, and luckily they are so wonderful and inspire a whole bunch of art. So like I said, my name is Caspian Voss. I use she or they pronouns. Feel free to say hello. But this first poem is about recognizing yourself and a friend and being able to kind of pull a lot of healing and love from that. And it's called Rain. Mud under my fingernails. It smells like rain sticking to soil. The rabbit and the hare, long legs, shoot. Rain boots rocket into the puddle like an asteroid touching down. Hot laughter and warm tears. We crane our necks to artworks. We make ourselves see as acrylic calls to us and we call each other out. We can call out and find ourselves within each other. I take a look at someone who's a child, just like me. I told you we were shepherds, and the sheep, and the grass, and the breeze, and the water, and everything in this hill, you and I are made of it. You told me we are growing. Gentle animals only getting softer. I'm watching you hop along the lawn, and I only saw it more having us be cannonballs. The way that you strode into my life with hands in your pockets, a smile on your face, and a gentleness in your step. Welcome to the long walk, the bike ride, young and old, other room or other side, percussion ensemble on the roof of my car. Kids shouldn't know how to drive, but we got ourselves down here just so fun. Graceful, shepherd for the forgotten self, wallpaper, old bookshelf. When I'm running and kicking up dust when I'm a hare in Arizona, you'll be chewing on some violets. Rabbit and the hare, shepherds to ourselves, we are powerful and bounding together. Thank you so much. Woo! This next poem is, I always find myself writing poems about affection, love, that sort of thing. They come very naturally to me. And I find that language can be so beautiful. And sometimes I also find that, especially with love poems, they can be a bit limiting. They can find themselves at a limit of something because it's also feels so surface level. I've been reading this wonderful book lately called All About Love by Bell Hooks, and it kind of dives into the ideas of love and breaks it down and expresses it in a whole bunch of different ways. And this poem was inspired by a lot of those things that I read in it. And it's this simple idea, but one that the more you think about it, you can dive deeper and deeper of when you are in love with someone, whether it be platonic, romantic, etc., you are loving them in their current state, their future state, and the one that they were before. So this is a poem called Toothpaste Stains that goes into that. Rock face sloughing into endless sea. Your pink sweater with toothpaste stains and tears. I'll fall in love with you while you floss. I'll live in you as you rinse. What you are right now, I'm finding myself in the previous. Your face is holding features of the young you that gallivants into the unknowing, bright and begging to learn the things that you always said you would. Giggling and letting words spill like rivers down your lips, talking without speaking, and every word is a wish that shoots above your head to be caught in jars like lightning bugs. Treat them as you treat me, and you'll never be alone. And when you are as you are now, so stunning in the shining bulb, clearing dirty mirror when you wipe away the shower's fog, I'm lost in all your noises. I'm taking a moment to make sure I'll remember this in 50 years. I'm taking time in cups of tea that sit to grow cold on your nightstand as I warm up next to you. In your arms, in your mind, you're racing to find the nearest exit, and I'm sitting passenger side. In the shadow of the streetlights we ride. And as this evening draws to a close, and as we press together to sleep, with the wholeness of each other and the breath that wants to leave, I'll press a kiss to your forehead and tuck my hand into your side to act like comets reaching the ground, reconnecting with the thing that sparked me upwards and out into space, into time, into you, into us. I'll put you like a pressed flower into my books, and I'll take every bit of you everywhere I go. But you gave me the ways that your sharp hands carved off pieces of me and pick up the ones that I think should have gone back to myself. You're in my mind so deep that I get lost in you, and I see myself again, and it's night, and it's quiet, and it's home. And I brush my teeth one after the other, and I'm spitting blood into the sink, and it drips onto my shirt, onto my pants, and dries onto my sink. And I know that in 50 years, I'll remember this. As toothpaste stains. So, this next one was actually inspired by a very dear friend of mine who has permanently marked all over my body with their incredible tattoos. I have some on my forearm and on my elbow, also like on my my thigh. And it's my wonderful friend Ari, who's an incredible tattoo artist. Find them on Instagram, Harry Ari. But they posted a self-portrait that was themselves as a cicada emerging out of this sort of brown, crisp shell of themselves and becoming green and vulnerable. And I was really inspired by that as kind of a sense of rebirth into oneself. And I'm going to try to hook this up here and tell you a little bit about that. But I think the imagery of a cicada is so powerful to change yourself and be seen only every once in a while, but be different every time. So, trapped under topsoil, buried, things I can hear, things I can touch, things I can see. Songbirds, their feathers like zippers, cracking beaks, rustling branches, rain, knocking on concave glass, asking to come into the conversation happening inside the four doors. Thrashing against dirt and stone, every quake nestles me more, closer. This flesh is tender, this flesh is new and ancient at the same time, separate and part of the earth that's keeping it still. The remaining seconds before I speak, I am more fear than flesh, more opening than open, quieter than loud, old than new, more thunder than storm. I am specific and moving towards concise. Bursting from the lawn, I become a thing again by observation. Rose bush I find myself crying under, made by women, once again. Chirping, exalting, I have no need for something unique or prophetic, just something you can recognize. Something familiar, like a nose on a face, crinkling, one you've seen in your own mirror, the soft coo of a grandparent, hearing the origins of an inside family joke. The foot pushing down on the pedal to go, somewhere exciting. Bronze-handled door worn down and oxidizing from the life in your palm. Over and over and over, I show up and sing, not to be acknowledged, but to be seen. I blink and buzz in the sunny top. I look to the leaves, their fullness, and bright green at the height of their season. I, a cicada, vulnerable in my shining emerald. I am simply changing. Hoping to be missed by high-top sneakers as I sit so soft, pulling out an old body, buzzing my wings like wet playing cards shuffling, still and yet alive. The leaves are the same, we both brown and crisp in the fall. I love like gambling. No, I love like planting trees. I give grace like it too. No ownership, borrowing, lending like sugar, so when I made something sweet, you can have it too. Like planting trees you may never gently see change color or bloom. We borrow the color in our mind, the fruit it bears. We don't own ourselves. We borrow. I borrowed this land, this love, this sugar, this body from people long before me, the nose in the mirror that I recognize in sepia-tone photo. Ancestry is hard. When my blood chose violence and I carry the way that they smell roses. Our dichotomy, our mutual sin. Justice is growth, not punishment. I find these things on my wet wings as I dry into a new version, but I am not the bearer of forgiveness. I just became a part of this place. a whole to blend into, a singular beautiful rose, one note in the song, one strand of long hair on the cat's coarse tongue. For all of summer, I cry out, wanting to be a multiplicity in exchange for all of this. This flesh bargains and places itself in the way of high tops, brown and shed, a mirror of myself, a shadow. What do you do with a cicada that won't sing? Will you miss on it and step right over? Is it meant to cry out, or should it continue to be still? One that sheds itself and remains quiet. Two bright emeralds, crisp, a carapace, wide-eyed, soft, moving towards the sun, towards the roses, towards justice, towards growth. I'm just trying. I'm not lying on the ground anymore to dodge the crush of your soul. Thank you so much.
I am so honored and looking forward to this. This has been something I've been looking forward to for a minute. The incredible, one of the best project names I've ever heard in my darn life. Okay, Scrimmy Bingus and the Grungle Tungus, which I say to myself sometimes. I'll be making breakfast and I'll just like, Scrimmy Bingus. I'll just say it to myself. It's great. And every one of the folks on the stage is so incredibly skilled and fantastic and talented, and I feel so welcome to be up here with them. So with their help, I'm going to say a few poems and with their musical accompaniment. One more time for the wonderful Ultimate Dog. Oh my goodness gracious. That was incredible. I ascended, so I really hope I'm back enough to do these poems. But this first one is a short poem that goes out to all my wonderful queer and trans folks, including myself. To the little one that turned the stone, finding sweet and kind moss beneath. Kisses on your forehead as I see you want to grow your hair. The part of me that was always there. I will wear your smile wide. Your spirit will pour from my finger running past the drying polish. I will eat for when you were hungry and dance for when you hid. It took me so long to find you in the ground, get you back from what they did. But the dimples on an orange, my skin just below the surface, bright as hands over sun, casting shadows long, stretched of who I will become. With citrus Ferris wheels turning in my eyes, wax over metal wires, in the heat of this love, it's melting into her. I'll embrace you and carry you into every room I walk into, and know that when they see me, they do not see the weight of you pressed in my breast pocket. But you are me, and I am you, and we are something beautiful, never to be erased again. That one's called Transgender. And this next one is one that I've been out doing a couple times, which is why I was so honored when you said you were going to do bird sounds. Because this one is set where you'd hear birds, and it's one that has quickly become a favorite of mine, called Grizzly, and it's about resilience. This love will be the tether I pull when I am uncertain. A great grizzly maw standing in the stream. Open mouth, sharp canines glinting in the Alaskan sun, waiting for the oncoming salmon. Expecting, breathing steam into the air when it jumps to tongue I eviscerate. Crushing bone and pulling flesh as its lips flap open, my foot on its fin, swirling with love with how to feed myself. Knowing something else must die, I hope it doesn't feel pain as I swallow down the fresh red flesh. I must sleep for winter, my body must sustain the quiet of my gurgling stomach, my hunger pain and growing brain. Put my face into the ice-cold stream, the water rushing down my throat. Where the river started, I may never know. I don't question it as I drink in solitude, washing scales off of my gums. My body gets cold as the river pulls the heat from my golden fur, and I feel it as I run, putting a paw into the
dark soil, it sinks under my legs. Moss and lichen sit on stones and listen to my heavy breaths. Heaving with the steps, I learn to bear my weight. I've been there before, I've been here forever. Before a word to describe me, before a man to tell me what I'm not. I'll be here after I leave it behind, because when I am not eating, I'm grieving what I stole. A life of some spawning fish that wanted to move somewhere to lay 10,000 eggs, knowing that it would be the meal for its next of kin, but I was just a baby when I fended for myself. Now I walk with a hump in my back and watch the sunset over quiet mountains. My bones and teeth and body were built by taking. In a forest where I mix the honey of hard-working bees and the berries of sleeping fairies together, a jam sticks sweet to my skeleton, and I pack the fat onto my skin, and I'll cover my fur, and I'll lick the sap, and touch my claws. I feel the sharpness of myself as the river roars. My ears sting cold with piercings from where I fell asleep to wake with something missing. A ranger with a gun, a drink or something, kissing. I can't remember well, but it's almost August warmth and October's right in front. These teeth hold my mouth open with a yawn, releasing the air of yesterday, gently grabbing the fur, a cub with small eyes and small nose and small teeth picked up by me. These teeth once left a bear with scars down its back. Something it will never forget, somewhere the fur will never grow back. The scars sit in an aching stack, and now my body, large, becomes the warmth, haven and safety as I pull the baby close and nuzzle with my face. A salmon jumps in the water. Its mouth glints as I watch with my full belly. Foxes come to take to find what is left. Red fur in the twilight like a darting sunset, cackling in the open air. I have the capability to love and harm, and I choose to love. In this moment, in this lifetime, in this body, I stand in the forest. I stand in the stream. I stand as a fox, and I swim as a salmon. I scab like a scar, and I sleep as a grizzly. And in the water, I stand as a woman, truly bare. That's grizzly. Woo! Yeah. That was awesome. Thank you. You guys are amazing. So this next one, I've been periodically putting out poems, and I intend to put these into some sort of written paper format here soon. But when I'll do that, who knows? But this next one is one that really means a lot to me. It's one of my more recent poems, and it's called Achilles. And this one goes out to just like anyone who has ever dealt with any sort of anything with the mental health. I feel like sometimes people forget that health means that sometimes you're sick beyond your control. And this one's called Achilles. Purple knuckle, tongue dry. I talk too much when I'm nervous, and I wore through the skin under my eye. I rubbed it too much, and I couldn't stop crying. It burned every time I put my fingertip to where my lid was wet. Find salt in the crook like the sea when the tide leaves, and I did it anyway. Salt cleans wounds, you say. But it burned, and I'm burning. I'm lighting myself up. Please, stranger in my body, put me out. I'm letting the water out of the tub and sitting till my cool nudeness is met with the chill of the air. Please take me out. Lightning. Storm cloud with shades of red. I feel you rumble deep within me days and weeks on end. Am I hated? Am I loved? You are hated, you are loved. Tie myself to the ceiling blade and know that at least the spin will be a pattern. Say an affirmation and tell myself it matters. I stay ready to strike the earth when it gets too close for my comfort. Put me down. Please put me down somewhere in a field where I can't burn anyone. Where I can only light the shrubs, where I can let this off. Arson, and fire, and oil, and lightning. I was an empty clay pot that got dunked. Achilles, you said. You will feel nothing despite this one spot. Grab me by my ankle, but then I was dropped. In the river, and the oil weighed more than water, and I sunk to the bottom. When I was born, I was silent, because I couldn't breathe. When I was 25, I was loud and I couldn't breathe, but I held my own heel and pulled myself out of the river, saying, "You need not be invulnerable." You felt all this time. You moved out of yourself, but you're safe and you're mine. You are not a bomb, you are not a weapon, you were something forged to cut, a sickle that harvests grain to keep in farmer's hut. You were not made to draw blood, you were made to keep us fed, knowing when to be sharp. And I tell you, Greek hero, it's time to go to bed. Slow, like Emperor Catch, I put my lips to Babe's head and whispered something softly. And this is what I said. You are not lightning. You are not fire. You can see yourself, your trail. You are not the flame that burned Chicago. You were not built to fail. You are the skin underneath your eye. You are worn and you are dry. And you will change and you will heal as long as you will cry. And that's Achilles. Thank you so much. My incredible friends up here have been making this beautiful soundscape, and I'm so honored. The incredible Scrimmy Dingus and the Grunkle Tungus.